Internet, hello and welcome to this week's Koi Cubed. I am so excited to be with you here today. It is a giant week of news and it is not collecting again. Why? Is it connecting? Maybe. I don't know. I almost bailed. It looks like it might be connecting. It's connecting! As you guys know, sometimes I have to leave and re-enter my own stream, but here we are. Welcome. Good to see you all today. I'm so glad I didn't just bail on my own stream. Hello! It is a giant week of news. We've got the SnyderCut to discuss, and we're going to go into full spoilers in the SnyderCut. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier's first episode. We've got Helen Mirren joining Shazam, which a lovely, lovely Streamlab from the great Raymond Verata informed me. We've got all sorts of Schmoedown news to discuss. We've got comic books to discuss, including one that I recommended to you folks that is now being adapted. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We've got a lot going on, and it's just getting started. Pop culture's coming back. Usually, with this show, it has leaned heavy on this got delayed, this is moving over here. We are finally getting to the point where it's going to be like, this is getting released, this was announced, this is going forward. So this show started because I had done another show called Collider Heroes, and I loved sharing my excitement for comic book pop culture with you guys. And then I wanted to do something about most pop culture and with a comic book focus, like a 70% comic book, but I wanted to touch the other 30. And then the world stopped a month and a half later. We'd only done this show for this much time, and then the world ended. So there's been lots of delays and this and that not happening, and now it feels like a year into the show, a little over a year, we're talking about the SnyderCut, which is finally out. We're talking about Falcon Winter Soldier, which had delays due to COVID. We're talking about all the things that have been waiting to come to fruition, and I'm very excited to share the positivity with you all. That said, we will have more release date shifts in this episode, because that's tradition. We can't have an episode without at least a conversation about release date shifting, but it's not the headline whatsoever. And thank you, Scott Welsh. I am very excited for my new car. We'll talk about that after the big stories. The big stories are up first. Let's talk about the SnyderCut. The SnyderCut was unleashed upon us Wednesday, 9 p.m. PST, midnight, going into Thursday, EST, HBO Max exclusive. Something that was 4 years in the making, something that I honestly never thought would exist to this level of complete, which Warner Brothers had no real intention of releasing to this level of complete until very recently. They were actually considering releasing this as just the footage on Zack Snyder's laptop. They considered just putting it out because of the fandom as incomplete as it would have been, and then things changed, the world stopped, HBO Max was their flagship, they needed to push, a lot moved around, and then $70 million, a day of reshoots, and a lot of incredible post-production work, and a lot of great work in the aftermath of a crazy fallout, and an emotional aftermath of a horrific event in real life. We now have the SnyderCut. That long preamble is to say the scope of how impossibly irrational this is to exist. A movie, when it's finished, is finished. A studio rarely reopens it. There's the Dick Donner cut of Superman, that's an exception, but there's also 500 movies a year that have a release, and maybe we'll get a DVD re-release like your American Pie's U2 or something, but they don't put $70 million into reshoots. They don't add that much runtime. The Justice League 2017 movie that we experienced was two very different directors working with very different material at very different times, and it was just kind of put together and released, and it felt like it, and that was kind of the problem. Unfortunately, that was going to be the end of everything, and the reason Zack Snyder had to walk away was a tragic death in his family, his daughter he lost, and then the Snyder fandom rallied together, raised a ton of money for suicide awareness, and did a lot of really great work. And what's tricky for me about the Snyder fandom is there's a lot of just good and great and incredible people, and that's probably the majority of the fandom. Like, I would say more Snyder fans are good than evil. But the ones that are angry ruin it for everyone. The ones that are entitled, the ones that are vindictive, the ones that attack people on the internet give the Snyder fandom a bad name. So I'm not going to speak to those motherfuckers. I'm going to speak to you. If you're in the koi pond, you're probably on the side of the large majority of Snyder fans where you just wanted to see the art finished. You were hopeful, but you weren't entitled. I've often spoken out saying that the SnyderCut is very tricky for fan entitlement, And we're going to talk about that in a minute with the Ayer cut, and we're going to talk about that in a minute with the Snyderverse in general. But right now I want to talk about the Snyder Cut. I was so gobsmacked. I was so impressed. I was so overwhelmed. I was so happy. I was so enthralled. The entire movie is 4 hours. I started watching it during the day because I had a ton to do that day. Thursday was a big day. And the next morning, I had to be on SEN at 9 a.m. to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier. I struggled to be coherent after midnight because I'm trying to be a morning person. And therefore, I wanted to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier the morning before and then go on air. This is all important. So I figured the Snyder Cut would have to be in 2 or 3 pieces because it was already put into chapters. It was in 6 chapters, 7 if you count the epilogue. And I was like, you know what? I can watch this over the course of the day, watch a chapter, get stuff done, watch a chapter. I was about 10 minutes into the prologue when I realized, shit, I want to watch this all at once. This is incredible. I am in. And I made it to the end of the first chapter and was like, nope, I'm going to watch that all at once tonight. I'm going to wait till the sun sets. The moment the sun sets, I want to dive into the 3 hours and 20 minutes of this I have left. So I rearranged my entire day due to the first chapter of the Snyder Cut. I literally changed my life around that day to make this work. That is how much I went from I'm afraid to talk about this on the internet to I need to experience this as one thing. And I got one beautiful, mostly coherent, like 90% coherent piece of art. The movie itself, I'd say 95% coherent. That's not fair. 95%. There's a couple things that are like, well, we did a reshoot a year later, but like the movie is great. I gave the Justice League 2017 cut a D-. I gave this an A-. I was just overwhelmed with I'm proud I'm wrong. Not proud. I'm ecstatic to be wrong. I've never been happier to be like, no, this shouldn't exist. Oh God, I love it. What Marvel does that I love is they make the superhero living amongst us feel like an underdog, someone that we wouldn't necessarily know, and then they right a bunch of wrongs, and it makes us all feel like we can be heroes. It makes us feel like we can all find heroism in ourselves. Most superhero movies do that. It's a very common way to tell that story. I'd say 98% of comic book movies tell the story from the perspective of you too can be a hero. And I love that. And I think that's a really great moral compass to have. That's how I see things. That's how I see comic books. That's how I see these characters. Zack Snyder does not. And that is what's interesting about the Snyder Cut, is this isn't a movie about heroes that walk amongst us. This is a movie about gods that live amongst us, but aren't amongst us. Gods that we live around. One of the most powerful scenes for me was Aquaman and the singing of that incredible choir as he walked into the water, the reverence, what it would be like to live amongst gods. To Zack, these are gods that are just trying to do the right thing. And that sometimes makes other people that don't enjoy that kind of storytelling not appreciate what his vision is. And I get it. I honestly think this movie is incredible because it can be both hated and loved, and people saw the same movie, and neither of them are necessarily wrong. It's just their expression of the art. Art is anything that makes you feel. If you didn't love this, I understand, as long as you don't have just a butthurt reason for it. Like my buddy Jake, who I do Coy-Cast with, my podcast, Jake did not like this movie, and one of his great examples was the scene where Wonder Woman saves everyone. Instead of doing all the stuff and saving the bullets and from the people, she could have just taken that guy out, and then her destroying the entire side of the church was excessive. To me, I think that it worked because she's a god and she's playing at a different level. She's aware of saving. She's aware of the moment. She's aware of her actions right here. She saved everyone. It was just handled in a different way. And I don't mind the cowering cops aware of Wonder Woman's giant power. I see where Jake's coming from, but I personally am so invested in the characters in the movie that I'm so in. It's actually an incredible storytelling lesson that the Justice League we experienced was such a different movie than the one we got now, because I would love to see storyboards, and we're not going to get $70 million dumped on a lot of movies to get them retold. That's just not going to happen. But I'd love to find out the original intention behind some movies that are lesser, because I think they could have been greater. And this, honestly, is probably in my top 20 superhero films ever, and I've seen upwards of 150, 180. Like, I don't even know how many superhero movies I've seen. This makes my top 20. This is my favorite Zack Snyder anything since Watchmen. And Watchmen is another one of those movies in that 2% where the heroes aren't just walking amongst humanity. They're also a different level of reality, so it's very different. So I really appreciate that we got to see both sides of this. I really appreciate that the Snyder Cut itself had a new score. The Junkie XL score is so powerful. I love the pacing and the slow-mo personally, because to me that made them more deity-like, that made them more godlike, that made them more atmospheric. It got to be all of the different Justice League characters in the gravitas that slow-mo brings. And I know a lot of people hate Zack Snyder using it as much as he does. It's exactly what this needed. The pacing, the 4 hours was necessary. We needed a 4-hour story to tell this story. Arguably, we could have used a little more. I would love to see a little bit more of Darkseid, so I understand why he's cool besides the comic knowledge I have. It's the beginning. This is supposed to be a trilogy. This is part 1 of Darkseid. I'm not blaming the movie. I'm saying if this is all we're going to get, it would have been nice to know more Darkseid. With Steppenwolf, it was just the beginning of, what his backstory was, but I felt like he had a complete arc, whereas Darkseid didn't. But Steppenwolf's story began and ended here. He got his whole story for a reason. Darkseid's story was going to be told across 3 Justice League films. He didn't get to really shine. Maybe 2 Justice League films. I don't know. I haven't read Justice League 2. But I wanted more Darkseid for my knowledge. So I really, 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 really loved this. I really got so much more Batfleck, and I'm a huge Batfleck fan. I really loved the fact that it felt like we experienced what the Aquaman that Jason Momoa was intending to play, instead of just the cool catchphrases like, "My man, I love my man." It's in the trailer for a reason, but there's so much more to that character. We got to see it. We finally got Iris West. We finally got Kiersey Clemens. We finally got a full-blown Flash action sequence in the beginning and in the 3rd act. That Flashpoint moment that we start to get with time is one of the most visually stunning comic book moments, hard stop, period. I loved the Wonder Woman sequence, going hard on that guy that was going to kill kids, and the deflecting bullets felt different and impactful. And if you actually watch the side-by-side, there's one on YouTube of the Justice League cut, which is, the 16:9, and the 4:3. I think the 4:3 has merit because it gives you more scope this way, and the heroes feel bigger, like you're looking up at them. I liked the 4:3, and that's a stylistic choice a lot of people haven't liked. I want to say I walked in expecting to hate this and loved it, and I'm so glad I was able to turn off my own judgment, expectation. I've dealt with a lot of really, really aggressive and shitty Snyder fans, and I like Zack as a human quite a bit. I like Deborah as a human quite a bit. I've met them a number of times, and they're amazing people. I like them, and I've always said that if you meet Zack and Deborah, their movies impact you differently. As soon as you talk to Zack, you understand his vision in a very different way. This movie was like talking to Zack Snyder about how he sees Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg. And Cyborg finally got to be a character that's not like, oh, look at these characters and Cyborg. Cyborg had nothing to do in the first movie. In this movie, he's the heart of the movie. This was a Cyborg story, and the heart his dad got to be to the beating pulse of this film, the amount that Cyborg himself got to actually do more than just blurt out lines of dialogue. Ray Fisher got to be in this movie. Everyone got more time to shine. The 4 hours was well-deserved. I've already ranted for 10 minutes. I've got a full 25-minute review over at the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. That's where I'm going to be putting a lot of my edited stuff. This show is going to be live and stream of consciousness. The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau is going to grow into something bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to grow into interviews. It's going to grow into pre-tape segments. It's going to be edited. There's going to be a very different thing over at the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. But while it's building, I want to make sure that you guys get my stuff on time. I just dropped that edited full 25+ minute Snyder Cut review. The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau is on YouTube. It's a video. It's Travis, I see you. It's a video. It's literally type in on YouTube, The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. It's a channel I'm just starting. It's only been up for like a few weeks, but it's a channel I'm starting. I had Emma Caulfield on as a guest for WandaVision's finale. She's a dear friend and a lovely human, so I interviewed her over there. Check out those things. I'm not currently wearing the Deadpool pants. I'm wearing Spidey's on my lap. I'm wearing normal pants. All of that being said, to wrap up this I guess I didn't spoil a lot, this non-spoiler review that I guess wasn't as spoilery as I expected. The Snyder Cut deserved to exist. I'm happy it exists. It improves upon the first in ways that can't even be quantified. It shows an incredible vision. It shows an incredible film. It shows these characters are understood. And it gave me probably my second favorite moment in all of DC, this DC Universe's film set. My first favorite moment is No Man's Land in Wonder Woman. My second favorite moment is the entire Justice League riding down the elevator and getting out and greeting Alfred. That scene to me wasn't tongue-in-cheek funny in a way that, other studios often do. It was still DC dark, but there was levity and comedy to show that those characters can be that without sacrificing their integrity, and all of them interacting with Alfred in just the way their comic book counterpoints would, without sacrificing their movie's perspective, was exactly the scene I needed to show that this is the Justice League. To me, them in that elevator was the Justice League assembling. To me, that was them becoming a league, and I really, really love this movie, and I'm so glad it's here. It's going to be probably in my top 10 of the year. It's early days, and movies are actually going to come out this year, but the fact that I'm telling you right now, Zack Snyder's Justice League is in my top 10 of the year is something I never thought I'd say, and I'm so glad to be wrong. I am happy to tell you I am wrong. I would love more of this. I felt more emotion in this than I do in a lot of films. Happy, sad, crying, overjoyed, cheering, standing. I changed my schedule around for it. A 4-hour movie that I watched in 2 pieces and wanted to watch it once is not a small thing. Thank you to Zack and Deborah Snyder. Thank you to the fans that were right while I was wrong. Thank you to the kind, caring, compassionate Snyder fans who have done so much for charity and so much for the good graces of what that world can be. And fuck you to every SnyderCut fan that's an absolute asshole that ruined all of this for everyone else. Fuck you. Stop being a troll. Be better than that. Zack wouldn't want you to be an asshole. Stop being a fucking asshole. You're the reason I thought this was going to suck, and I was wrong. Thank you to the good fans, and thank you to this movie. I'm so happy it exists. Again, check out more of The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau for those thoughts. All right, let's kick it over to Falcon Winter Soldier. Again, longer, deeper, more notes, spoiler-filled thoughts. The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. That was a 15-minute rant. There's a lot more over at the Late Con with notes that I took while watching the film. You can actually see me go through section by sections what I thought of each and everything. So it's a full deep dive, whereas this is more of a, conversation. All right, Falcon and Winter Soldier for the folks that are over on the Marvel side of the enjoyment of this weekend. I, as always, want to stress that DC and Marvel is not Bloods and Crips. No one killed anyone else's family. You can like all comic books. It's, in fact, very healthy. If you look behind me, that is DC, and that is Marvel. And look at them not fighting. Look at them existing on a wall. You, too, can be that kind of fan, and that way you get more. You get to double up. Oh, you know what? I didn't say, I did have one major negative, so in the interest of fairness, I did have a giant negative for the Snyder Cut. I thought the epilogue was garbage. I did not like the ending. I thought Jared Leto's Joker was even worse than I expected, and it kind of tarnished the film for me for a bit. I had to sleep on it, wake up the next day and enjoy it again, but I did not personally think the epilogue was well written, well shot, well acted, or needed to be. I would have loved if the film ended here, or even went here, credits, and then the conversation with Martian Manhunter and Batman, but the Nightmare stuff, I get it. It's Nightmare. It's a different reality. It teases it. It was just bad for me. But the movie still at A-. It was fucking great. All right, back to liking both things, because the Snyder Cut to me was an A-, and Falcon and Winter Soldier to me was a solid A-. Both, I don't give a lot of A's in my experience. I personally tend to be in the B area. I personally tend to think of things on a bell curve, so the average bit of art is a C. It's an average. It's that way. If it's something really good, it's a B. If it's life-changing, it's an A. A's don't happen often. We got 2 A bits of content this week. We got the Snyder Cut, and we got Falcon Winter Soldier. Talking about Falcon Winter Soldier. The budget on this show is banana sandwich. The budget on this show is absolutely insane. I can't believe they were able to accomplish that level of action spectacle on a TV show, even a Marvel show. They're throwing so much money at this thing. To shoot those action set pieces practical, the opening of the show was like, hey, by the way, this isn't a TV show. It's a Marvel TV show. These are your expectations. Remember, this was supposed to be the first Marvel show. We were supposed to get Falcon and Winter Soldier first. So that opening action set piece would have been the first one we saw in the Marvel television universe. So it's very cool to me that they went with such a bang. Also, I'm a huge UFC fan. To see GSP back as Batroc the Leaper is obviously going to make me happy. To see him back like that made me very happy. The fact that he's in his appropriate comic book colors, the fact that he's leaping through the sky through some crazy storytelling way. They're like, yeah, squirrel suits, jumping. I'm like, how the fuck did they write a thing where there's a Batroc leaping through the sky and it works? Incredible. We got to see the pros and cons of the wings. We got to see the technology evolve in the wings. We got to see some Red Wing action. We got to see how he fights in close quarters. We got to see defense. We got to see offense. We got storytelling with Falcon. Anthony Mackie is a genius actor. From fucking 8 Mile to playing Tupac to playing Martin Luther King. Dude is incredible. He's very good in the Marvel movies, but he never got to be a full-fledged character. He's in a scene, he's got some lines, you care about him, but you don't know him. You know him in this. You're invested in his family. You're invested in his world. You're invested in perspective. And I love that he and Steve Rogers are alike in so many ways, but in the ways they're different, we're really going to explore in this. But much like they're alike in a lot of different ways, he doesn't need to be at war all the time. He can be calm with his family. Juxtaposing that, Falcon is a lot like Captain America in the ways that Falcon and Cap are different. Winter Soldier and Cap are similar in those ways. He has trouble not fighting. He keeps a log. The karma log that is about like righting wrongs versus pop culture was a beautiful symbolism between the two of them. That was a wonderful storytelling device, but it shows how similar Steve and him are. But obviously the murder and his horrible past, the things that he can't escape, is what haunts him. So we've got, Falcon being haunted by the present. He's dealing with very real world things. We've got Winter Soldier being haunted by the past. We've got Winter Soldier a lot like Cap in some ways, Falcon a lot like Cap in other ways. The beautiful back and forth over the shield is going to be wonderful. What I'm really loving is that we didn't even have them meet in this first episode. They're not going to meet until probably the third act of the next episode, but we're getting to invest in these characters. I care about Winter Soldier flirting. I care about him in the psychiatrist office. I care about Falcon being denied alone with some subtle-ass racism. I care about the fact that this show is going to address how fucked up this country is and how our systems are so flawed and super inherently racist. I care about the fact that we don't take care of our veterans, and we're going to reflect that through Winter Soldier. I care about the fact that fucking John Walker is going to look like people think Cap's supposed to look, and it's going to bring a lot of people out of the woodwork that think they're Americans that are actually just assholes. And I also give a shit that Marvel is telling this story right now in a time that we need to address the fact that you can cause a country to fight itself with one public figure wearing your fucking flag, and the fact that we're going to address the fact that radicalizing people through videos and content, like I think Baron Zemo is going to do, is exactly what happened to this fucking country, and we've barely seen the ramifications from it. People went to jail. Ooh, great. We had a fucking insurrection. I love that we're addressing that shit on this show. I love that we're going headfirst into very tricky territory. I love that we're taking 6 hours to do it. And I love that Marvel gives a shit about supporting characters and lead characters. Wanda and Vision are some of the best characters in comic books, and now they're some of the best characters on TV. Bucky, Winter Soldier are genius characters in their solo events, in their comic books, team books, in everything. We're about to get time to love them, and then we're going to retroactively love them even more in their past films. We're going to go back and watch Civil War after we know both of them a little better. It's going to be even greater. The scene in that car guarantees is going to be even funnier by the time we get to the end of this show. By the time we get to the end of the show, we're going to retroactively care about these characters so much fucking more, and not even to be hyperbolic, we're going to be better for having watched this show, and Marvel's going to show some fucking balls and tell some stories that they wouldn't have told 10 years ago when Ike Perlmutter was running this shit. It's going to be awesome. So I really think that Falcon Winter Soldier is going to surprise a lot of people in the places it goes. This isn't going to be some bullshit action show that doesn't have anything below the surface. It's going to be a fucking awesome action show with more under the surface than people realize, and we're going to break it down every single week on my IGTV on Friday. I'm going to watch that shit. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to dive in and do a full breakdown, and we're going to have a lot of fun diving into all of the subtext as well as the text, plus comic references, all those things. Briefly, a couple of my favorite moments. I really enjoyed Winter Soldier waking up from that nightmare on the floor, because a lot of times people that came back from war don't sleep well in beds. They're too soft. And that's actually a line of dialogue we've experienced from Winter Soldier. He's talked about, oh yeah, the beds, they're too soft. We got to experience that moment, and we also got to experience another moment of the issue with the past Bucky trying to right those wrongs, and we assume Bucky's hanging out with people his age because he's 106, so he's hanging out with that old-timer. So we do the Captain America thing where it's like, oh, that's who we'd identify with, these are his people, and then we find out, oh, fuck, he killed that guy's kid, and that guy's mourning him, and we're experiencing the guilt Bucky's going through in a myriad of beautiful ways. Then we've got the new origin story for Falcon, where Falcon in the comic books comes from Harlem, a very stereotypical 70s story. Dad's a religious man. There's some problematic writing in some of the old 70s Falcon stuff. this new origin I love. It goes to NOLA. It goes to where Anthony Mackie's from, gives it that heart right there. But it's also a different kind of story. We're talking about a woman trying to keep a boat afloat. We're talking about a family. We're talking about his nephews. We're talking about all that stuff. And he's an Avenger that saved the world and he can't get a bank loan. We're talking about, you know, what the economy happened, what happened to the economy via the snap. We're talking about how people's credit would be fucked because we give more shit about numbers and wealth than we do about actual human lives. If there was a real life blip in America today, there would be people denying bank loans to people that were gone for 5 years. We're fucked. So I'm excited to see all of that happen with the side of this motherfucker John Walker is going to make a mess of everything. And I am so excited to see the way, the most punchable face. John Walker's got the most punchable face. I love Wyatt Russell. Big fan of Wyatt Russell. He's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's kid. He's incredible in Black Mask. He's incredible in Everybody Wants Some, and incredible, I'm going to use the word incredible one more time, an incredible Richard Linklater film. If you haven't seen Everybody Wants Some, it's this great spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused set in the 80s, and Wyatt Russell is so good at it. He also goes to my coffee shop, and he's a sweetheart. Wyatt Russell usually has a big beard. Looks a lot like Kurt Russell. Shave that beard. Punchable face! And it's going to be excellent to see how that plays out. I can't wait for the scene where we've had Sam train up and he can finally throw that shield awesome. I can't wait to see Sam and Winter Soldier both back and forth with that shield. I can't wait to see Sam get some closure, which is going to be a battle. And I can't wait to see Baron fucking Zemo put on that mask and cause some havoc without throwing a single punch by being smart. Because intelligence is a superpower. Used for good, used for evil. Be smart, read some shit. Don't be evil. I got a super chat. Sorry, I got real hyphy. In that last bit. I think it's because I was trying not to be hyphy in the SnyderCut, so it like boiled. This is chocolate milk. It's delicious. Super chat. We got a super chat from Curtis Mason. I thought the old guy was the kid from Bucky's Dream at first. I also like how Bucky has a list like My Name is Earl. He has a karma list. He has a list just like Earl, and I love that My Name is Earl was just referenced. Thank you, Curtis Mason. I love that he also has a karma list, and I think it is wonderful that we are living in a time where both that reference exists and we have the parallel between Cap and Winter Soldier in the form of that book, and I think we're in for a glorious, glorious, glorious show. Thank you. And also thank you again to the first super chat before the show even started, Raymond Verata, who told us the following bit of news. Helen Mirren is confirmed for Shazam 2. Now, this is something I might have known for a little bit of time that I was not talking about because I don't like scoops and I don't like ruining things for people, and I'm very excited that it is now public because Helen Mirren is gonna be awesome. I am so excited for Helen Mirren to be in this beast. I'm like so invested in Shazam 2 because I don't know if you guys remember, but I did more press for Shazam 1 than I've done for any film ever. I did press in Hawaii, New York, California. I had 2 sets of people from that on Comic Book Shopping. I had a bunch of people on Collider Heroes for Shazam. I like worked with Zach on some other miscellaneous stuff. I did between like 13 and 18 pieces of press for Shazam. Then I went to the premiere and I do like the everybody because I'd done so much work with them. I love Shazam. It's very important. I think the second one's going to be even more important. It's going to address a lot of the stuff that we got to by the end of the first Shazam. That movie has so much fucking Amblin heart. That movie's like an 80s film today, and I love it so very much. Shazam 2, adding Helen Mirren, is just like, hey, yeah, that's right. It's got some clout. I'm real excited. So I'm very, very in for Helen Mirren joining. She's a villain, apparently. This also makes me happy because Helen Mirren's apparently a giant Vin Diesel fan. And that's why she's in Fast and the Furious. So the fact that Helen Mirren fucks with Fast and the Furious and with comic book movies as a human, like she just seems so like pedigreed. So it's great to know that these movies are affecting people that aren't scoffing at them. Fuck Bill Maher. I love that people of that echelon can be so invested. So fuck yeah, Helen Mirren. We appreciate you. We got Rose Kirby with the super chat. I had to tell you, I'm writing an essay in class and I chose to write one on the potato scale. Should I classify movies through potatoes or just potatoes? You're writing an essay on the potato scale? Rose Kirby, I need you to send me this essay when it's done. I need you to cite me. I want to be in that bibliography. And I think you should use the potato scale as it was intended to externalize the feeling of enjoyment of everything in a medium, and that mediums have versatility. It doesn't make something better or worse. You'll note I didn't say that Falcon and Winter Soldier was better than SnyderCut or SnyderCut was better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I said they were both great and how different they were. The beauty of potatoes is you've got tater tots that are fun and vibrant and really good with or without seasoning, great for dipping, really good functionality. That's one thing. That doesn't make French fries any less ballin'. French fries, better surface coating for salt, trickier for pepper, larger granule, great for scooping, which is different than dipping. A French fry is going to be a different theatrical experience or a different comic book experience or a different song experience than a tater tot. A tater tot might be a Venom. Tater tot is a summer blockbuster. It's an experience that you're not like, oh, it's going to get an Oscar. You're vibing with the tot. A French fry is your standard. It's your baseline. It's your phase one. It's your foundation. You're building to more. You're appreciating the potato, but it's very simple. It's all access. You can throw on Iron Man anytime. Great background time. French fry, great background experience. You want to go motherfucking animal fry? You want to go truffle fry? You want to go everything on it experience with bacon, cheese, all of that? Now we're talking Avengers. Now we're talking Justice League, the Snyder Cut. The bigger, the bolder, the crazier. Doesn't make French fries or Iron Man any less. Doesn't make Venom any less. So what I want you to do with the potato scale is apply it to what you love. I want you to get the potato scale, and if you're a music person, apply those versatility-laden potatoes to music or movies or comics, whatever you want to do. But I'm trusting you. It's a very important scale, and you got this. You better send me that, Rose. I'm very excited. I also appreciate it. I'm honored. We got Scott Welsh with the Streamlab. If Falcon doesn't get paid for being an Avenger, where did Vision get the cash to buy that plot of land in Westview? Bruh, he can change numbers. You think Vision can't just go like $1 billion? All money now is digital. Like, the gold standard disappeared. The dollar no longer says they'll cash the fucking amount it promises for gold. Money is a concept now. Like, we fucked up currency a long time ago. Inflation is a fucking problem. Meme stocks exist because money isn't real. So I would say Vision just went like, yo, humans ain't shit, got $1 billion, and just like, it didn't matter. Homeboy doesn't need money, so he just invents shit. So that's what I would apply the concept of money to, and I hope that answered your question adequately. So Falcon didn't get paid because he's a human. Vision got paid because he took that shit. I also am sure he had an incredible Robin Hood-like parallel in his mind of like, you know, she needs this more than this person does. He might have taken someone's like overhead they'd never noticed from like 5 billionaires, shuffled it through because Scarlet Witch was the greater good. I'm sure he had some philosopher rattling around in his brain to rationalize that thievery. But I mean, I support stealing when it is to help the homeless, and I support helping people that are in need versus people that have excess. Fuck trillionaires. They're coming. Right now we have billionaires that shouldn't exist. We'll have trillionaires soon. And yeah, spread wealth out. And that's what Vision did because he's a hero. A real hero. Okay. Whew. Next bit of news. All right. In the world of, we just covered Helen Mirren. We talked Snyder Cut. We talked Falcon Winter Soldier. Also, by the way, Spidey's up. Falcon Winter Soldier is the #1 debut on Disney Plus of all time. The #1 debut. Very exciting shit. The fact that these shows get bigger and bigger, the fact that, you know, Marvel just keeps cashing bigger checks of their own content, very excited. Now we're going to talk about my car after this next segment, and I'm very excited. That's why I'm in a mood today. Your boy's hyphy. He's had a lot of coffee. He's got a car. Things are moving. That being said, Disney, speaking of Disney, is shuffling everything. Disney is moving all of their dates because the world is still not fully open and these movies cost a lot of money and they need to make a lot of money to make it worth making more movies. So yes, Disney has billions, and yes, it's one of the biggest corporations in the world, but obviously if you've made something you're proud of and cost you a lot, you're going to want to move it around to be the best possible case scenario to recoup that money. So Disney announced today that Black Widow is moving to July 9th, and it will be day and date Disney Plus. I'm torn on this because I don't think it should be on Disney Plus, but the $30 it costs will help buoy the loss from theater revenue, and the fact that it's going to be day and date, and most theaters, I imagine, will be full ass open by July 9th means this could still has a really solid, you know, box office. This could still have a lot of legs. It could still do very well. I will soon be very, very vaccinated, and I will soon be going to the movie theaters wearing a mask and then probably tucking in for 10 days to make sure I didn't pick up anything, because you can still carry that shit even if you're vaccinated, and I will never be okay with potentially getting other people sick. It's just, I can't imagine what if I carried the COVID virus, even though I was immune, and then someone else got sick and then they spread it. I can't be Typhoid Gary. So I'm probably gonna see a movie, tuck in for 10 days, repeat, rinse, recycle, go back out every 10 days. So like see 3 movies a month every 30 days, yeah. So that's my plan. So July 9th, I will likely be seeing Black Widow in theaters as it is intended. So I'm a little torn because I would have loved to have seen this in May, but it will be a lot safer in July. I don't love the day and date Disney Plus thing, but if they think that is the future of how they make revenue, so be it. I think movies belong in theaters, but that is just me. Also, to Shang-Chi, it is now coming out in September, so Shang-Chi has moved off of summer into fall, so that is going to be a very curious time to be releasing movies, because we're going to start to get a very crunchy time where all these summer movies are getting into the middle, and then winter movies are... So 2022 is going to be stacked like we thought 2021 was going to be. So the next 3 years are going to be really insane with release dates and catching up and playing ahead, especially with Marvel, because it's all one giant web. So because Black Widow moved, Shang-Chi moved as well. We'll keep you posted on whether or not that sticks over there. Cruella is now on May 28th as planned, but it is staying on theater, Disney Plus, same day and date, and it's going to be $30 just like Black Widow. Black Widow moved, Cruella didn't. It's interesting what that says about their expectations of the movie. May 28th is very soon, but it is going to be, time will tell. I'm excited for Cruella. I don't know how it's going to do on May 28th, because that is 2 months away. I know we're all fiending to get back to the theaters, but maybe it's also good because then it's not competing with Black Widow. So maybe that does, benefit it. We'll see. Again, those two, Black Widow and Cruella, are day and date, movie theater and Disney Plus. $30 on Disney Plus, price of a movie ticket at your movie theater. May 28th, Cruella, July 9th for Black Widow. The following have also moved. Luca is going to be a Disney Plus exclusive. Luca is no longer going to theaters at all, which I don't love necessarily, and it is coming out on June 18th. It's going to cost you nothing extra. Just like Soul, there must be some deal with Pixar where they need to make less money somehow, because both Soul and now Luca are Disney Plus exclusives, and that one is coming out on June 18th. So that is the deal with that. We've also got Free Guy, which I'm very excited about, a Fox property they acquired when they acquired all of Fox. Free Guy is Ryan Reynolds as a video game character, and that is a lot of fun. So we need movement on that, and that is going to be theatrical only on August 18th, rocking out with that summer release date. The Kingsman is probably the first movie next to The Quiet Place to get delayed forever ago. That movie was supposed to come out a year ago. It also got moved. It is now coming out December 22nd in theaters only. So this Christmas, you get your The Kingsman, and that movie is going to be about 2 years old, which is pretty fucking crazy. So theatrical release for The Kingsman makes me happy because that's where I want to see it. Deep Water, I know nothing about, but it's got a theatrical release on January 14th, 2022. We're now looking at the 2022 release date schedule for Disney. And finally, Death on the Nile, which I am so excited about because I'm a big Hercule Poirot fan, and I loved Murder on the Orient Express. I thought that movie was so slept on. It made my top 10 of that year. I fucking loved it. The sequel to that, Death on the Nile, with a stellar cast, is coming out as of now, as of press, February 11th, 2022. So those are the 7 release dates that have moved. We will see. Time will tell. And yes, live chat, I see your conversation. I did say Typhoid Gary because I'm a dude, and my Typhoid Mary is a lady, and the Typhoid Gary is dude Gary Mary. All right, guys. We've talked SnyderCut. We've talked Falcon Winter Soldier. We've talked Disney release dates. There are more stories, but those are the big, big stories. Now, the biggest story in my life, beyond this pop culture excitement, your boy got a car. I don't know if a lot of you were aware of this, but I lost my job in January 2nd of last year, unceremoniously, and then that was a real bummer, and then I was like, you know what? We got this. Bootstraps, let's fucking make our own shit here. And then you guys have been an incredible powerhouse of positivity and support, and I love, 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 love that very much, and I appreciate all of you. So we started doing this. I started doing a podcast called Coy-Cast. I started doing freelance work out the wazoo. Then, 9 months later, after that had gone down, and I was like, well, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to fight through this. I then moved in February, by the way. January, lost a job. February, had to move. Lived in a very, very rough place. It was awful. You guys saw Internet was rough because I was living in a goddamn garage. I lived in 190 square feet for 6 months through the pandemic. I thought I was going to be traveling in 2020 because I traveled 11 out of the 12 months of 2019. So I was like, I'll move into a garage because I'll never be there. Then the world stopped and I was on, lockdown in a garage. So I lived in a garage for 190 feet for 6 months. I finally moved out of there into my place now, which I love. And again, through you guys all supporting and being awesome, I was able to do that. But then in September, my car exploded. Quite literally. My car, the head gasket blew in the highway and there was smoke. And I want to say there was flames, but it could have been my imagination because I was in the fast lane and had to frogger my ass over to get off the next exit, push the car up. Luckily, I don't skip leg day and it was a Mini Cooper. All of that being said, my car, September, I couldn't afford a new car. I had just moved and I didn't have a consistent job. Everything I do is freelance. A lot of what I do comes from you guys being awesome. So, from September until 2 days ago, I've walked everywhere. If I gotta go to the grocery store and it's raining, I wear a backpack and I throw plastic over it. If I need to go to Michael's for frames. It is 7 miles over a mountain. I fucking 7 miles over a mountain and actually carried back frames over Runyon Canyon, which was very funny because they were very big and I looked ridiculous. That is the way things were. So I adjusted and it was fine for a while, but it's about to get hot and the world is reopening. So I, because of you guys, have been able to survive. And I want to thank you very specifically because I bought a car and I've never had a car payment in my life. I've always bought super used cars that were about to explode. And my Mini lasted 3 years when it should have lasted 2. So that car was a gift. Thank you, Wade. He was the Merc with the motor. Wade, because he was red and black. Merc with the motor. But I've always bought super used cars. So I bought that car for like very little money. This car called to me. I now have a 2016 Chevy Volt. I put all of the money I saved as a down payment and I now have car payments and I am going to, pay off a car, which I've never done before. So I luckily had good credit. So my car payments are reasonable-ish. So thanks to Patreon and, the times, I'm going to be able to chip away at a car payment and, the Patreon is basically going to like car payment, eating, and hope. And then the rest of my money goes to rent. So I'm now driving thanks directly to you lovely people and all that jazz. So I got a hybrid car so I can plug it in and I want to work in the environment because if you guys can't tell by my aggression towards America earlier, I'm a bit left-leaning, not fully, but generally. And I think we're destroying the planet. So I got myself a hybrid to do my part about fixing that. The other day, I did the whole rundown for Coycast, sitting in the parking lot of the zoo charging my car, because there's a free charging station at the zoo. So I charged my car while working, so my new office can charge, which is fucking dope. So thank you all very much for being here for me this year. 6 months of walking 7 to 10 miles or even 2 miles to the grocery store has been a lesson in humility. That is no longer the case, and I'm very fucking excited, and I love my car, and I've named her Babs after Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, because the car looks like a Batmobile to me. It is a dark blue. I always think of Neil Adams' Batman, the blue cape, and it looks very feminine but aggressive, and Batgirl is wicked smart, and I think a hybrid is a very smart car, and I've never had technology, so the combination of her intelligence, the OnStar Oracle, and the blue made me think of Barbara Gordon, so the car's name is Babs, and that is the story of the Coy-mobile, and I now have a Chevy Volt that I love dearly named Babs, and every time I walk away from parking it, I take a photo because I love her, and I'm also paranoid, and I hope she's there right now because I hear her calling to me and I love her. So yeah, if you're on my social media, you're gonna see a lot of content, Coy intent, car intent, a lot of Coy car content, and I'm very excited about it. So thank you again, and all of your Streamlabs today, all of your Super Chats today are all going towards paying off the car. So everything you guys are doing right now, very much appreciated. Every Streamlab and Super Chat I've read is helping me cry less about the numbers that happen when you buy a car. I had a number, there was a car number, and then you leave, and it's a very different number. You got like this number, you argue, doesn't work, and then the number gets bigger and bigger, and then they're like, oh, tax, you live in California? And I'm like, I do. And then they're like, how about 9.7% of that motherfucker? And you're like, okay, that's a number. And that number just goes to nothing, except the roads being fixed and our entire infrastructure. But it feels like nothing. Anyway, it was so much more money than I expected, but thank you all again for all of your awesomeness. Apparently, this last year has been more emotional than I thought because I'm getting worked up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get back to the news before your boy gets all this is ussy on you motherfuckers. Echo. an incredible character, David Mack co-creation, a Daredevil character, a very lovely character I'm a big fan of, is getting potentially her own Disney Plus spinoff, which is fucking dope. I'm a big fan of Echo. I'm a big fan of the world that they built out of this Daredevil character. And apparently, after how well the character was received from Hawkeye footage, boom, we are getting lots and lots of glory with Hawkeye to come with Disney Plus. It's so far just a concept. It hasn't been picked up, but there are talks of a spinoff for her right now, which is very exciting. I just saw 2 lovely super chats come in. Thank you guys very much. I wasn't saying that like standing on the side of the highway. I was saying thank you, and thank you for furthering that. That is seriously, it's all going to the car, so thank you so fucking much. That was from Rob W, who threw in a super chat, and from Travis Earl, who threw himself in a Canadian super chat. You know what I can do now? I can drive to Canada. Be a long drive, because I'm in Southern California, but I can. And before, I got tired walking to the valley, because that's really, it's a big hill, and it's hot. So thank you so fucking much. I appreciate you. Travis Earl and Rob W, bottom of my heart. All right, we got in the world of news beyond Echo, last story. We've also got Regal is reopening in April to celebrate Kong and Godzilla coming out. So AMC is already mostly all open. I know the ones in LA are like 70% of them are open. There's a lot of AMCs in LA. Not all of them are open, but like most of them are. Regal is the second biggest chain in the world, and they are opening in April, which is next week. And with that opening, they are going to be debuting Kong vs. Godzilla on the screen. It should be debuted on, which is very exciting. So if you want to see Kong vs. Godzilla right, and you're vaccinated, I'm getting my second shot on Thursday. 2 days. I'm so excited. I'm going to be, in 2 weeks from Thursday, I'm going to be inoculated. So I'm very close to being able to kind of operate in the world now with a car and the second dose on Thursday. So I'm getting my vaccine on Thursday, and I'm really excited. So I'll be going to Regals and AMCs and seeing movies and shit, and I'm overjoyed. So Regal is reopening in April with Godzilla vs. Kong. Michael Keaton, speaking of COVID, Michael Keaton may not be able to return as Batman, as we all thought, because of COVID. COVID precautions are apparently keeping things not fully ink dried. Things are not fully done as we all thought they were. The rumor became a reality, and then the reality became a maybe. Recently, Michael Keaton said that COVID concerns has kept him from fully committing to the Batman role. I'm hoping it's just him trying to make it a secret and a surprise. Like, I hope it's a big surprise, but it definitely made me like, oh, okay. So the Michael Keaton thing is interesting, and time will tell. Mike Tyson is getting a series from Antoine Fuqua. I went the other way with the hua sound. Antoine Fuqua, who made Southpaw and obviously Training Day, is making a full series with Jamie Foxx starring as Mike Tyson. This has been going for years. Jamie Foxx has been training for like 3 years. Jamie Foxx has been talking about this for like 5 years. It is now a go, produced and starring Jamie Foxx as Tyson. There's a ton of great interviews online. If you haven't seen any of the interviews, check out the interviews online. He is Mike Tyson. The voice, the mannerisms, the physicality. I'm so excited for this show. I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan. I know Tyson's problematic. I'm very excited for Jamie Foxx to portray him. I hope it's an honest portrayal. And Antoine Fuqua is going to do a great job. I think Southpaw slept on. He really understands the art of boxing, the sweet science, and he also can shoot the hell out of a match. Plus, he gets the heart and soul of dark characters like in Training Day. So those two things combined, plus Jamie Foxx, it is going to be a dope series, Tyson. I just saw 2 more come through, and I want to make sure I give those some love. Rob W with another one. Rob W just donated $15 to the super chat. Thank you, Rob. Truly, sincerely, I appreciate it. Also, Comic Quirks with Jimmy. We all love you, man, even though you missed our interview. LOL, no biggie. Love the koi pond. Comic Quirks with Jimmy, I am so sorry. We will interview. We will. I don't know when, because everything got messy. What happened with this month was the Schmoedown got crazy. What happened with last month was it was the Schmoedown draft getting crazy. The Schmoedown is so much time, and I love it. I'm not complaining. It is just so much time, and it snuck up on me. But Comic Quirks with Jimmy, I don't forget a promise. And you'll notice I've done like virtually no interviews for the Schmoedown or press for a bunch of stuff because I've been so busy. But you, sir, are getting an interview with me. It will happen, Comics Works with Jimmy. I promise you, we'll set a date once my life is more manageable, but I promise it's happening. Man of my word. Okay. Next bit of news, and thank you. We've got John Wick 4 and 5 are not going to be written by the man behind John Wick 1 through and 3, Mr. Derek Kolstad, because he's working on the spinoff for the insanity that will be the the words, the group, the hotel series. You know, it totally escapes me. What is the name of the hotel? Continental. I didn't have to look it up. Aha! Because he's working on a Continental series to expand the world of John Wick. And that brings me to something I'm very excited about. I was waiting until the second half of the show because the numbers usually go up around 6. So I wanted you guys to hear this live. Nobody. The movie by Derek Kolstad that drops on Friday, I got to see early. And you guys are going to be the first to hear about it. Nobody, I think, is as good as John Wick 1 and 2. And I liked those so much more than John Wick 3. And what Nobody does is the things I wanted John Wick 3 to do. So to me, it's going in the correct direction. Nobody is a force of nature disguised as a family. The Incredibles has more to do with Nobody than traditional action thrillers. This is a family man kicking ass. This is a Volvo with a twin-turbo engine coming off the line and beating the crazy 60s muscle car that represents John Wick. Bob Odenkirk is the Volvo. John Wick is the muscle car. And I'm saying there's some merit in that Volvo winning this race. I'm in love with this movie. I saw it a couple weeks ago. I've been thinking about it nonstop ever since. The embargo drops today. I can finally talk about Nobody. Nobody comes out on Friday, and it will probably, even though it's only March, live in my top 10 of the year. So far, only 3 movies have really blown me away this year, and Nobody sits comfortably amongst them. The action is beautiful. It is a ballet of violence. It understands that ultra-violence is both about art and comedy. It understands that the physicality of the art of violence is essential to making it entertaining instead of just gratuitous. It also understands there's humor in that. They also do a number of things in Nobody that really are able to bait and switch you into experiencing the expectation of the genre in a different way. I'm trying not to give any storyline elements away because I want you to experience it like I did, but the entire first act plays out in a way that you think the movie is going to be a more traditional switch into violence, and then it does the opposite. The way Bob Odenkirk's character evolves is he subverts all expectations of the genre consistently, and then by the third act, it is a full-blown melee of hilarious violence. The action is John Wick 1 revolutionary. When you watch John Wick, you're like, nothing's like this. This does that in a new way. The third act has an incredible trio of, I don't want to give it away. The third act has a trio of actors. You're going to love all 3 of them, but they saved one with good reason to be in the third act. And then the second actor is the great Christopher Lloyd. Seeing Christopher Lloyd in this performance is just impossibly cool for a kid that loves 80s movies. As a Back to the Future trilogy, not even apologist, I think it's amongst the best movies of all time, all 3 of them. Seeing Christopher Lloyd and Bob Odenkirk is a delight. This movie is so special, it's so big, it's so fun. I really, really, really encourage everyone that loves action thrillers, check out Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. Surprises out the wazoo, action for days. It plays with tropes. Some of them go the exact way you expect. Some of them turn hard right, left, my right, in a way that you're just going to enjoy the hell out of. I love this movie. I can't wait to see it again. I'm seeing it again on Saturday. They're doing an event, a drive-in event, which is going to be so much fun. They're doing like a drive-in, not even a premiere, but, you know, a debut. And I'll tell you guys all about that. I'll be live tweeting it, not the movie because I'm not a monster, but I'm going to be sharing the whole, you know, red carpet experience. Nobody is exceptional. All of the accolades I can give it. An A from me. Go see it. Available on Friday. I don't know when or if it's going to be streaming, but for now it's in theaters. I hope you can go safely. I'm going to the drive-in on Saturday to see it again. Deeply in love with Nobody. Please enjoy it. And also tweet me and let me know what you think of it. I'm going to be trying to have conversations about this movie because I've been keeping it close to the chest for 2 weeks. I can't wait to share my excitement. So tweet me what you thought of Nobody and we'll dive into that. Thank you all very much for seeing Nobody. All right, I see a couple super chats popping in right there. Oh, that's very kind. Remy's Art, some gas money. Thank you. It's expensive here. It's $4 a gallon for not premium. My last car was premium and this one's regular gas. Whew. As gas prices go up, it feels nice to have an 87 acceptable because I was a 91 guy and $4 for 87. Thank you very much for gas money. That is very kind. Mukbang Reviews. I enjoy your reviews and you're amazing. Thanks. Love to Spidey Cat and best of luck in the Schmoedown. Spidey Cat thanks you. He's in the window. I thank you and I enjoy doing reviews for you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy Nobody, SnyderCut, Falcon, Winter Soldier, all the rest of the stuff I've talked about today. I want to dive deeper into Nobody as soon as I can, probably spoilers and the like, but I'm gonna wait until it's out because I'm not an asshole. Because I've already read some reviews and people are giving shit away and I was like, that is not how you review before a release, you monster. Thank you, Mukbang Reviews, for respecting my my style of reviewing. Mr. Comic Quirks with Jimmy. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to make a joke. I know you weren't upset, I think, but I feel bad. I sounded whiny. Oh, dude, not at all. You didn't sound whiny whatsoever. My guilt might have made it a bit more of a deal than you meant to make it. It's just I got extra layers of like, fuck, I'm a person that really like values the word and a promise, so I just feel guilty. You weren't being rude whatsoever, and you did not sound whiny, Comic Quirks with Jimmy. I am very excited to our interview, and nothing about what you said or came across was you doing anything offensive in any way. So no, I get guilty and I speak more than I should. So thank you for your patience and for your super chat very, very much. All right, next up, we've got a little bit more news now that we've talked about Nobody, and now that we've talked about John Wick. Speaking of John Wick, Berserker. Berserker is a comic book that I've recommended to all of you many times. If you listen to Coy-Cast, if you watch this show, Berserker is something I have raved about. It just got picked up for both a Netflix movie and an anime. Both on Netflix, both starring Keanu Reeves. I am so overjoyed. This comic was insane. Expectations were high. It was delayed a couple times. It's co-written by Keanu Reeves. It stars Keanu Reeves. That's kind of an ingredient medley of glory without a page being revealed. Then it incorporates memes and Wolverine-like tropes, and it's what you want a linear Wolverine meets immortality meets badass Mark story to be, without the weight of legacy and backstory yet. They're building a new one, so you don't have to have read another comic ever, which is so exciting. So it is an insane comic book, and it's being adapted to both a movie and an anime starring Keanu Reeves, and I am so excited. Jeff Lee, I agree. Berserker is me thinking of Jason Mewes. Berserker. Also, $4 a gallon is bananas. Enjoy your $2 a gallon. But yeah, $4 a gallon is the way it goes. At the end of the day, I got a hybrid because I think we should be getting away from gas as soon as possible. So $4 a gallon in my brain, as much as it hurts me to pay it, I also acknowledge that like we're bleeding the planet dry. So $4 for the lifeblood of fucking Earth is like a discount. And we should just eliminate it altogether, and everything needs to go that way. So $4 to me is like, if we can dissuade one person from buying a giant ass truck, it's worth it. And that's like, it's a tax on stupidity. So $4 that's the reason, but I gotta pay it. Enjoy the two. Enjoy the two. All right, over to Schmoedown news. Before we wrap this show up, we had a hell of a match this week when Andrew DiMolanta, spoilers for the Schmoedown, you got 10 seconds till I reveal a pay-per-view, and it's been out for a weekend, so I'm about to say it, beat Alex Damon for the first time in Alex Damon's storied career. Alex Damon has been a champion for every other division's entire legacy of championships. Every other division has changed the belt over except Alex Damon until now. Andrew DiMolanta took that belt and said, what up? Both of them played incredibly. Both of them are masters. There isn't even an apprentice master joke to be made. They're both geniuses. This match was insane. It went to 51-50 for a reason. It is the highest scoring match. It is the most insane series of events match. It is the most entertaining match. I think it is the greatest match of all time. It's going to be on YouTube soon. It is insane. I truly and honestly think it is the match of all time. It is easily match of the year. I think it's match of the last 8 years. DiMolanta wanted this more than I can possibly express. DiMolanta and I trained harder than I've done any other Schmoedown training. We worked at this. We worked on like how he played. We worked on his mind state. We did mock matches. We drilled this thing, and we're gonna do that again. Well, we are, but we're gonna keep doing that leading up to the next one when we beat Damon again. But I just want to say, like, no one wanted that more. When you watch the match, you'll see that. It's also the first time that I cried in the Schmoedown because I was so happy for Andrew, and I was so happy that we had done that together. And I got Manager of the Week, and Andrew DiMolanta got Manager of the Week as well. Player of the Week as well. even now I'm worked up about it. Today I'm hyphy, you guys. Today I'm hyphy. I'm just so happy for him, and I don't think people understand the amount of work that goes into this. Nikki DiMolanta and he are the best fan couple I've ever seen. They love training together. They love studying together. She is a force of nature. Everyone look out for Nikki DiMolanta, this year's Schmoedown Season 8. She is incredible, and they're both just the best. They really build each other up. They love each other so much. And Star Wars is better for people like Alex Damon, Nikki, and obviously Andrew DiMolanta for loving it as much as they do. I've already ruined the end of the match, but I don't want to ruin any of the twists and turns. After the match is aired on YouTube, I'm going to do a full breakdown, and I might have Andrew on this show, or a Schmoedown show. We're going to be talking all about it there, but I don't want to ruin the twists and turns that it went through. When it drops on YouTube, just strap the fuck in. I'm sure you know the outcome even before I ruined it, but or you've already seen it like AJ Lancaster had Manager of the Year. That's right. I'm just so overjoyed. I'm just so happy for him. All right, over to the curls section. I have fallen off so hard with fitness because this month has been hyper stressful. Buying a car is like buying a house, but like 1/20th of a house. But it's super stressful, and I've just fallen off really, really hard. As you guys may know, in February, I went vegan to see how it affected my body. My skin cleared up. I dropped a little weight, but it wasn't the dramatic weight loss I expected from the calorie restriction. So I think my weight I want to lose isn't a calorie deficit issue. I think it's stress. I'm a fairly anxious person. I'm a fairly depressed person. I'm a fairly emotional person. I think I hold my stress. So I am now, March has been mental health March. I've been working on doing things that make me happy. I've been working on choosing to be as minimal stress as I can, which has cost some workouts because I've been like, I don't feel like it. And then I've talked myself out of it, which I'm not doing in April. But mental health March has been about like taking care of my noggin as well as my body. So I've taken care of my noggin a lot, done a lot more meditating, done a lot more reading. I've also been busier than I've ever been, so mental health's been hard. So that's been the focus for March. April, for those playing along with Curls at Home, the fitness section of this show, I'm going to do all primitive April. APRI. And basically, I'm going to try to eat like a caveman. Frank Grillo, who is a hero of mine and also someone I talk to about fitness sometimes, I talk to him about his diet, and he literally doesn't eat anything post-industrialization. So he eats, nuts, he eats straight meat, he eats straight vegetables. Obviously, industrialization is tricky because bananas have changed and corn has changed, but you get the idea. He eats like a caveman would, and homeboy is one of the most shredded people I know, and dude's in his 50s. So I'm going to try for April to eat not processed foods. That's going to limit my sugar. That's going to cut my calories. That's going to cut my cholesterol. That's going to cut a lot of things that, especially if I don't eat a lot of fatty meats, obviously that is something I could eat, but I won't. It's going to cut mainly sugar out, as well as, the actual processing, all the shit that you can't read in the back of an ingredients list. I'm not going to have that in my diet for April. So starting next week, I'm going to do all primitive April and try to go 30 days in April of eating as lean while also focusing on the actual processing of my food. So we will see how that goes. I will keep you guys posted. I'm also going to be running shorter bursts of speed instead of distance for April because it's going to start to get hotter. And I'm also going to be doing one muscle group at a time instead of 2. I usually do supersets, but for April, I'm going to try to do 7 shoulder exercises, 3 reps times 12. And then I'm going to try to do one day that's just chest, same, like fucking work that muscle group out 5 days a week, cardio 3 or 4 days a week. I got a lot of crazy ideas, and I'll keep you guys posted, but that is my plan for April. For those of you that tune into the show for the curl section, that is a big part of my life, so enough people have asked me to share it with you guys. That is my plan. Sorry it's been so light in March. I've just been focusing on my mental health, which is also super fucking important. Like, if this muscle isn't working, this is all fucked anyway. So, been working on this because it's been a hard year of quarantine. I've lost my mind and found pieces of it. Not all of it, but I found pieces of it a number of times. But I'll be excited when this is all over because it's been a long year. I got a super chat in here from Mr. Mukbang Reviews. I watched WandaVision weekly and it was too intense. I waited till all Mandalorian 2 released and loved binging it. It's not easy waiting, but what are your thoughts on these release models? Mukbang, I'm a weekly guy. I like the conversations. I like the mystery. I like the pondering. I did say that WandaVision was the best lesson I've ever learned in fan expectation, even more than the SnyderCut, because I over-theorized, and I was part of the problem. I definitely was like, everything's Mephisto, mutants! And I love that I was wrong because the show became about contained stories and contained character arcs, which is what I've argued for. I keep saying that Spider-Man isn't working for me as well as it could because they keep making him Iron Man Jr. He keeps going to space and to Europe. I want a friendly neighborhood, motherfucker. I keep saying that if everything's an Avengers level event, then nothing is, and then I'm over here crying about wanting the mutants, and I don't want the mutants. I want a WandaVision story. So I love the weekly model because I get to theorize. I love that Falcon Winter Soldier felt like a complete episode, and now we get to wait a week for another episode. I want everything to be weekly except movies. I think weekly is the way to go. I hope Stranger Things Season 4 is weekly. I like conversation. I like to talk about Watchmen every week, and I like that this gets to be weekly instead of... If WandaVision came out at once, we would have talked about it that week and maybe one more week. Instead, we talked about the week leading up to it, all 9 weeks, and then the week after. That's 11 weeks of entertainment versus 2, maybe 3. Personally, I'm big on the weekly model, and I'm big on TV shows being serialized. Comic books are serialized. I tend to not read and trade. I tend to read monthly. So that's how my brain works. I get people that read and trade. I like Tom King's work sometimes more in trade than monthly, and then I reread it as a trade to see how I felt about it. So I'm going to rewatch WandaVision, but I already gave it a fucking A. So yeah, personally, I'm a fan of the weekly model and seeing how that all goes. I see in the chat something I did forget to mention because I just didn't realize the date. Invincible is on Amazon Prime this Friday. I've talked about it weeks ago, but I didn't realize. Shit, is that really this week? It's the last week of March. Holy shit. Yes, this Friday, Invincible, first 3 episodes on Amazon. Thank you very much, Raymond. Holy shit, you're right. Yeah, that is happening. So starting next week, we'll be talking about Invincible. The first 3 episodes, we'll talk about it next week's show. This year, bounty. Content bounty. If anyone's complaining about something they don't like, remember there's something else next week that you can enjoy, and holy shit, what a time to be a geek. We also got John Getz, Mr. John Getz, OG patron, gentleman and a scholar. Big fan of this gentleman. Speaking of fitness, I got a Tempo recently, and it's great for staying on schedule. They have very short workouts, and it's compact. Great variety of workouts, too, though the burpee challenge killed me. Dude, burpees are so fucking hard. I've never heard of Tempo, and I'm fairly decently versed in that world of the fitness things. I had not heard that, so I will be checking out Tempo myself. Burpees are murder. I've done Center, the Chris Hemsworth workout, and there's so many burpees variations, and they are all murder. I'm a big fan because I think suffering is how you get gains, but burpees suck while also appreciating them. Get it, John Getz. I believe in you. They suck, but get it. Mr. Mukbang Reviews. I didn't read Invincible. What did you think of it? Will you be reviewing it weekly? As mentioned, I'm waiting to binge it. My Invincible copies I have as 3 giant omnibuses. I have all of them as omnibuses. They are currently what keeps Deadpool at the perfect height because one of them is bent, and now I'm bending it back with a 100-pound Deadpool bust. 80-pound Deadpool bust. But yeah, I'm fixing one of my Invincibles with it, and it's also the perfect height. So I know it's sacrilege, but I also feel like it's perfect that the Invincibles those are my Invincibles. I have read it. I enjoy Invincible. It's not my favorite, like it's Hector Navarro's, friend of the show, friend of the me. But it's very good. It's a great Spider-Man-esque character. It's a great Superman-esque twist on certain characters. Not going to give anything away. It is really good. It's just, I think Robert Kirkman's Firepower, for example, is more my cup of tea. There's a lot more indies that I got more out of, but I really loved it. I read the whole fucking thing. It's 150 plus issues. So I do recommend Invincible, but I think people's praise for it varies, and I think going in with the right expectations will make you enjoy it more. And I will be reviewing it weekly. This week we'll be talking about the first 3, and then I'll be watching it week to week to week and talking about it week to week to week. But I always try to warn people, and I always try to put it at a part of the show where I say, hey, spoilers for this week. So when you've watched it all, at the end of the run, you can watch those sections, and I'm going to try to keep that very clear as I go through the stuff. So hopefully that works for you, good sir. And again, thank you for the super chat as ever. Much appreciated, Mr. Mukbang Reviews. All right, that, I believe, is all of the news, all of the Schmoedown, all the curls. All I've got left is to recommend you guys some comic books from last week. The books, I'm not going to give this week's comic recommendations because I haven't started going through that list yet, so I apologize. I don't know what I'm pulling yet, but check out Coycast tomorrow for your ear holes, and I'll let you know what I'm picking up on Coycast via audio. Today, however, I recommend from last week, Captain Marvel 27, Catwoman 29. I love the Captain Marvel run. It's one of the best arcs that characters had maybe ever. Catwoman, likewise, is such a great story. It's super contained. It's all you really need to be reading if you just want Catwoman. You don't need to read a lot of the tie-in books. It's exceptional. Justice League 59 might as well be called Justice League number 1. It is a brand new jumping on point. You don't have to have read any Justice League before it. It's Brian Michael Bendis, who I'm a huge fan of. Avengers, New Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man. Big fan of Bendis. Him taking over Justice League is making the characters much more relatable to me. So if you want to read some Justice League ongoing, I recommend this issue 59, which reads as an issue number 1, new team on the book. Nightwing 78 is also an issue number 1, effectively. It's a brand new arc, brand new character interpretation, brand new creative team, written by Tom Taylor, one of my favorite writers in the world, as well as Bendis. Tom Taylor did X-23, he did All New Wolverine, he did X-Men Red, he had a great Suicide Squad run. He's a genius, and now he's going to run Nightwing, and he's doing a great job with the character just from the debut. I love it so much. That is Nightwing 78, which might as well be Nightwing number 1. Snow Angels number 2. Snow Angels number 1 did not catch me as much as it wanted to, but I'm a huge fan of Jock. Jock is the artist on this comic book, and Jock is great, so I'm like, I'll give it 5 issues. Loved issue 2. Made my top 10 of the week. Big fan of Snow Angels. It's a very different dystopian take. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Over to Superman Red and Blue number 1, anthology book, also a great number 1. If you want to read a Superman book and don't want a lot of continuity, boom, anthology book. All these stories get the heart of Superman in a great way. I love that Superman's finally being shaped in a modern way that we can like grasp him, and it's through books like this. Superman Red and Blue is spectacular, and that's on issue 1. Thor number 12, or is it 13? Shit, I don't remember. I wrote down Thor like an idiot. Thor 12 or 13 is this week. It's Donny Cates. It's near concluding the Prey arc. It's the penultimate issue of Prey. This book is bananas. The dialogue's so good I read it out loud sometimes just to hear the language. It is metal as fuck. It is awesome. Read this Thor run from Donny Cates. It is currently on issue 13. Easy to catch up. Finally, X-Force 18. Quentin Quire is a great character, often written badly. I haven't loved him nearly as much until these last 2 issues. X-Force 17 and 18 are very Quentin Quire heavy. They're exceptional. Much love to this X-Force run. Much love to this book. All right, those are the books I recommend from last week. Again, check out Coy-Cast for the books I recommend this week. Tomorrow in your ear holes, the show drops at midnight tonight, or like 2 a.m., not sure depending on where you live, but Coy-Cast's gonna have those comic book recommendations. Mr. John Getz with the Super Chat. Oh, speaking of stuff coming out soon, we get oh, yes we do! We get Tartakovsky's Clone Wars coming to Disney Plus April 2nd. I can predict my next Patreon request. Speaking of which, what time day do you do reviews for Patreon? Okay. Moment 1, I've never seen his Clone Wars, ever. I am a big fan of his Samurai Jack. I'm a big fan of his Samurai Jack, but I've never seen his Clone Wars at all. So I am very excited. And so Disney Plus, which I obviously have, very excited to dive into those for the very first time. So that is a great patron pick. I'm very excited for that. I assume that'll be April, because shit, that drops April 2nd. This is perfect. And 2, my Patreon reviews, I do at different times of the week. I try to make them all Thursday, but that rarely works out because life is so crazy. But I have not been playing The Last of Us because I was at the car lot for 9.5 hours the day that I wanted to. I thought I'd be at the car lot for 4 hours. I was there for 9.5 hours. I set aside only 2 things that day, car and play The Last of Us to review. And I wanted to put in like 4 hours of Last of Us. I got in 0 hours. So I will be playing that very soon. I want to try to get that done for the end of the month. You're the patron I need to do the video for the last week of the month in my brain. So next week it will happen. I'll communicate with you via message, and we'll figure out what time works both for a schedule so I can do it live. And I'm also excited to play The Last of Us more. If you guys are confused by all this, John Getz is one of my patrons that has me review things. That patron tier, the Tater Tot tier, is near and dear to my heart because I'm finding all sorts of art that I wouldn't have experienced otherwise. The Last of Us, weird movies, the fucking powerhouse that is My Hero Academia. Love the stuff I've been consuming, and it's really fun to do very deep dive reviews for you guys. So I'm gonna be doing a review of part 2 of The Last of Us, like 4 or 5 hours into the game. I think I'm like 3 hours in the game, so I'm gonna play another 3 and experience that chaos and review it for Mr. John Getz. Also, we got another one from Mr. Mukbang Reviews. How is DC doing for you? I'm more of a Marvel fan, but really like the Snyder Cut, Joker, Aquaman, and Doom Patrol. Have you watched Superman and Lois? You seem to be a both fan because you listed a lot of DC stuff just there, good sir. I like both houses. I personally lean more Marvel because I tend to go for underdog characters. I tend to go for funny over godlike. I tend to all of these things, but it's not a rule. Mr. Miracle is one of my favorite ever graphic novels, and that's DC. Watchmen is the ultimate graphic novel, and that's now DC because it was an imprint of DC. It all varies. It just depends on your tone. I love all the things you just listed. I'm a big fan of the Snyder Cut, big fan of Joker. Aquaman is just crazy. Doom Patrol is insane. Those things couldn't exist at Marvel. Big fan of all of them. I haven't seen Superman and Lois. I want to, but I honestly don't know if I'll have time. It's hard to make time for a CW show just because of how many other things are out there, and it's usually like good, but not exceptional. what they're doing with Disney Plus shows is exceptional. So that's where my time goes. Watchmen, I think, is the greatest comic book show of all time, and that was 8 hours, and I was fully invested every week. I have a hard time with CW stuff generally. When my friends are on them, I watch them. Like, my friend Jess is on Flash, so I watch Flash. But other than that, it's hard for the sheer amount of man hours, so I don't know if I'm going to get to Superman and Lois, but I hope to. I'm just going to be honest and say that, like, it's not likely with the way the world is right now, but maybe one day. It just won't be anytime soon for me personally, and I hope that answers your question. You know what? I'm going to do a quick perusal, because we already went well over an hour. It's an hour and 15. We lost about 10 viewers when I started doing Q&A, but since we already lost them, I assume most of you guys want to hang out. Let's do a couple of questions from the chat very quickly. I can't promise I'll get to many of them, but Coy, per your suggestion, picked up the first 3 issues of Space Bastards, and I'm now hooked. Thank you. E. Walter loves good comics. I often give love to E. Walter's comic book taste. Shamelessly, it's very similar to mine. Great taste, E. Walter. Space Bastards is a damn good time, and I'm glad you were loving it. Hell yeah. Kelly Thompson and Captain Marvel is probably the most underrated run in comics today. You know, I liked it. Oh yeah, the current run. I love. But, sorry, my brain went to Kelly Sue DeConnick. I like Kelly Sue DeConnick, but I like Kelly Thompson more. I agree. I think it is one of the most slept on runs in comics today. Comic Works with Jimmy, I completely agree with you. Does anime work for the same way weekly as binge for you? I don't watch a lot of anime. I'm watching My Hero Academia as a binge because I'm doing reviews for it, and it's really working for me because I do it as 2-hour chunks. I do each arc with John Getz's guidance. I wouldn't be able to navigate this, but he knows the arcs. So when I do a review for him, he tells me like where the arc begins and ends, and it feels great because I know the structure and it feels right, and I love that 2-hour format. But sometimes I even spread that across a couple days, so it feels more episodic and like a show. Most anime does not tickle my fancy. Most anime is not for me. Just as a medium, I have a hard time with characters like big acting and fainting and yelling, and there's things in My Hero Academia that have that, but overall it's very linear and less overdramatic for me. I liked Death Note. I liked Dragon Ball Z, but even Dragon Ball Z has a fair amount of that bigness. So, and also the good animes tend to be like 100 episodes, and I just haven't had the time. So I have nothing against anime, and a lot of people I love it and recommend stuff. I just haven't gotten into it in a way that I can fairly judge how I like to consume it, because I don't consume a lot of it. But My Hero Academia is the shit, as is Dragon Ball. We talked about Invincible, talking about mental health, very important. I've done the same, have extreme anxiety naturally as well. Changing my diet has rescued my mental health. Oh, there we go, that's the full set. Yeah, dude, good. Fuck yeah, that makes me so happy to hear. Rob W., fuck yeah. All right, rooting for Eric Whiteley, as you should, Gorgon Fish. Thank you for rooting for Eric Whiteley. Aston Drew, happy birthday in April, good sir. Next month, happy birthday. R.S. Thalaire, how's it going, man? I hope all is well. All is fairly well. We're still trapped inside. But soon we won't be. And soon I'll be happier. All right. You're my favorite Schmoedown competitor, Coy. Thank you, Arturo. You have great taste in personality and horrible taste in knowledge of the game, because I am horrible at playing, but great at enjoying it. And that is why I'm a good manager, because those people, they can play. I can get them to enjoy the situation. So thank you very much. And maybe I'll do an exhibition match soon. Maybe something's cooking up with me and another manager. Maybe it's a manager that I used to manage. Maybe. All right, let's see if we got anything else in. Giganticsuperchat.com is what I just saw. Let me find it, because that was just the mega generosity. Let me see if I can. My scrolling isn't even happening because of the. Oh, the gas money from Resi. Okay. Rami's art, I thought, typed $5 for gas money, and that got me on the $4 diatribe. Rami's art got me a full tank of gas. Rami's art super chatted $50, which is, in that car, nearly 2 tanks of gas. It's like 1 3/4 tanks of gas. Thank you, Rami's art, for the gas money, for a lot of gas money. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought it was a $5. I thought it was a $4.99. It's a $49.99. Thank you. I'm scrolling back. I literally scrolled back to find that because I just saw the number on. I haven't been on the YouTube page, and then I just saw it in purple in the super chat. So thank you, sincerely, much appreciated. The generosity of the Koi Pond is impossible, and you guys have also helped me to realize that doing a YouTube show and talking about stuff and doing super chats and stuff is a really fun opportunity to connect with people that I always was like, I've never done Twitch or YouTube this way. All my shows were in studio, so I was really intimidated by it. I was really intimidated by like doing it all myself because I usually have producers and things. So you guys have really helped me see that this is all like really cool to be your own boss and connect this way. So thank you. And specifically to Remy's Art for the generosity and the fucking gas that is necessary. Because I haven't left, for perspective, for 6 months. For the year, I haven't left LA, right? Like, I haven't left LA because it's not been safe to get in an airplane, and I haven't felt it was safe to travel even by car because I'm a paranoid person. Again, anxiety. But in 6 months, I haven't really left a 6-mile radius, 7-mile radius. So I've only seen the same shit for 6 months. The act of getting a car means I can, like, drive, like, more than 7 miles. I can see, like, Deep Valley. I've never been north of Santa Barbara. I might take 2 days to myself and, like, enjoy and, like, just fucking drive somewhere, which I haven't done in, like, actual years because I'm such a workhorse. I might take a couple days and just drive. So Remy's Art might have just allowed for a full-ass vacation day. And for that, I appreciate very, very much. Thank you. Now I'm sure there's new questions. Let me see. I honestly think you should check out Superman and Lois, at least the pilot. I want to, and I will try for at least the pilot. I just don't know if it'll be... The problem is I don't know if it'll be in time for it to be relevant, because I still need to do, like, you know, The Last of Us with John, and I still need to do, like, I've got 3 Schmoedown matches in the next few days to film. I'm also getting the second shot, and I'm terrified of it making me sick for, like, a fucking week. The first shot knocked me on my ass for 2 or 3 days. My immune system was like, fuck you! So I'm trying to clear my schedule as much as possible in case I get sick. It is well worth it. Getting a little sick now to not be in the fucking hospital or dead is well worth it. I think everyone should get the vaccine so we can all get back to our lives. But I'm also aware that it might kick my butt, so I'm taking all precautions. So I'm trying to clear my schedule, not add to it right now. One Punch Man is one of those shows that everyone loves. That is very long and intimidating. I never did finish Death Note. I did start Death Note and really enjoyed it, but I do like 2-hour chunks and there's just so much Death Note. I meant to say Vanco for the username in the Streamlabs. Streamlabs I can't type today. Which one was your Streamlab, Vanco? I know the name Vanco. Do you have a secret alias? Which one is... Oh, Vano is Vanco. There we are. Vanco, would you ever consider doing a workout video? I've been gaining a pretty alarming amount of weight during the pandemic. Understandable. And my typical long walks haven't been cutting it. Aha. All right. We'll share a secret, Vanco. Yes. And there might be something in the works. Like, I've got some ideas, but also, like, there might be something that I was working on bigger that has been stalling. So I'm going to be doing something short form as like a proof of concept, but I'm also hoping it turns into a bigger thing. So yes, fitness probably once I'm back in a little bit better shape for me. That's my own self-consciousness. I'm not saying like, I gotta be shredded to show how to work out, but my own self-consciousness means when I have a camera on me and I'm not in the shape that I see myself as, that I'm not gonna post that shit just for my own mental health. Like I feel uncomfortable. So once I'm in a little bit better shape, you can count on it. I've got a couple ideas. They're gonna be really fun. They're gonna be a little different. And yes, it'll be a little bit, but probably this summer I'll be posting some workout stuff and like leading into the workout side of this channel. Also hoping once I can have guests and stuff, I can do more interactivity, have this channel grow, maybe do a couple, like Koi Cubed and reviews is kind of what this channel is right now. I want to add a cooking element, a fitness element, like grow this brand out a little bit more. I just got to get a little ahead before I can do that. And thank you, Vanco, for the Streamlab very much. And I plan on it. And dude, everyone's gained a decent amount of weight in pandemic, except for like 3% of us, and do not feel bad about it. If you're currently doing long walks, maybe try to up the pace or the distance or both. But also, if it doesn't hurt your knees or your shins, a short run is a game changer for metabolism. It just adjusts things. So 5 minutes of comfortable running, and then the next day 6 minutes of comfortable running. Or, you know, just start building that, but like just give yourself little chips away at things. It really helps. I always try to do 10% more than the last time. So if I start running 1 mile, I try to do 1.1 miles the next time. Or if I ran a 10-minute mile, I try to shave off, a tenth of that 600 seconds, 60 seconds naturally is a minute. So I try to do a 9-minute mile. So I always try to play with 10% because I'm a weird OCD numbers guy. But like, just give yourself bite-sized chunks and work that way. Look at your diet. Try to eat less processed foods. Hydrate more. You can lose weight just by drinking enough water. Sometimes we're just dehydrated. Our body's retaining shit. Try to get like a half gallon to a gallon in you. Those are just my little things that you can just kickstart your body. Try to kickstart shit, and then by the time I get to you in the summer, we're gonna have some fun, get some gains. All right, we got mukbang reviews. I loved your Schmoedown video when you were running and talking murky. Dude, that's kind of like what I'm thinking, like something akin to that with training videos, but maybe incorporating other things I talk about into the videos. There's some certain elements of my content you all enjoy that I might work out into working out content, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. And thank you for that. Was one of my favorite Schmoedowns promos I've ever done. The Schmoedown promo with Kevin Smith's View Askew Entire Universe is my proudest bit of directing and acting and writing. This was a close second. My Rocky montage video I'm so proud of. So thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. We got Will the Thrill. Will the Thrill just donated through the super chat. Just a donation. Just helping me pay for my car. Thank you, Will the Thrill, for the car donation and acknowledgement, and much, much appreciated. All right, let's see what the chat is saying, and then we're going to wrap this up, because now we're approaching an hour and a half, and that seems preposterous. Preposterous. All right. What else? Where did we leave off? Tempo. Oh, wait, that was right there. Streamlabs. There we go. Remy's art. Hearing my very, very appreciative thanks. Vanko. God, I freaked out and thought I accidentally did $50 for my super chat. LOL. I love you, Coy, but I can't afford that. The great Remy's art did. You did not, and I understand. And yes, I would have had the same freak out because I currently couldn't afford a $50 thing, and that is the extra Remy's art. Because, like, yes, I get it. I like your moment of public panic. That is very endearing. We got John Getz. Tempo is basically a big video screen with a camera. It tracks your reps while a trainer goes through exercises on screen. Has a place to hang bars in the back and a little pocket for weights under it. You're training like Tony Stark, bro. You got like AI. You got like an assistant that watches you through a video, like a personal trainer through technology. That's dope, man. John Getz with the science. That is fascinating. A big video screen with a camera, and you got all sorts of gear. That's dope, dude. Enjoy that shit. Fuck yeah. Peace, everyone. Gotta go exercise and stay safe because the world is crazy right now. You're correct. Just floating through. Just think, Coy, this was everyone's life in the Dark Age as well until someone called a crusade. Yeah. Crusades are coming. Crusades are coming. Remy's art, Stimmy Love Coy. I'm getting mine tomorrow, and that is literally the way I was able to rationalize a car. I was like, you know what? Shit. Cars are going to get more expensive once everyone gets their Stimmy. I can put some of this in my credit card and then use my Stimmy, and I might get a better deal. And I'd played the system a little bit. The Stimmy is the only way I'm not walking everywhere, and I'm so glad it exists, and it's coming in tomorrow. It's going to pay off some of that credit card, and thank you for the generosity of $50 of yours, because that's also going to pay off some of that credit card. All right, a couple more, and then we're wrapping it up. Jeff Lee, the great Jeff Lee. Jeff Lee and I used to have these awesome Patron conversations, and I'm actually probably going to have to stop that tier for a little bit while I'm this busy, but he's the coolest dude, and it was always lovely to talk to him and his wee little awesome kid who's growing up crazy fast. Jeff Lee is good people. Jeff Lee, Coy, you deserve a vacation day. Your mental health, as you said, is important, and take the day and go for a nice long drive. Basically, the idea is to get the second vaccine, get sick as fuck, recover, catch up on all the work that I had to push from getting sick as fuck, and then take a little time. That's likely going to be in April, and I hope, yeah, that's the plan. And I'll let you guys know, because if it affects this show especially, I'm going to keep you guys posted, but I am planning on doing something like that. At this point, Death Note is shorter than Hero Academia. That's true, Patricio, but it is a patron review. So the patron reviews are other people, basically my time, instead of doing a review for Collider, I do a review for a patron. So the patron picks what I review. So instead of Collider being like, watch this garbage or watch this greatness, someone else goes, watch this thing, you'll really love it. And they've been doing My Hero Academia because that's what John Getz digs. So if someone else wants to do Death Note, I will watch it. It's just something I don't have the time to commit to without it being fiscally responsible, is where I'm at. Ivan Garcia, first vaccine made me feel like I got hit by several trucks, only lasted a day, thankfully. Mine was about 3. But I'm hoping the next one, because the first one was rough, the next one won't be as bad. We will see. Yeah, I know I really should do running. I hate it so much, but that's probably what I should do. Just try a little bit, man. Try a half mile. Try a half mile once, and if you didn't die, do a 3/4 mile. You know? Go that way, and then just see how it shakes out, man. You got this. I believe in you. You got this. Okay. Arturo, which Toothless movie is your favorite? How to Train Your Dragon 3 surprised the hell out of me because it landed the perfect trilogy. I love them all to a level that I can't describe, but 3 surprised me the most because I had the highest expectations and it exceeded them, and I also did a lot of fun press stuff with it, so it's got a lot of memories. Jay Barakel took me with him while he was in town, so Jay and I went to Conan, we went to Corden, like me and Jay just hung out for a weekend, and then I went to the premiere with Jay. So How to Train Your Dragon 3 was me and Jay just hanging out in LA, and Jay's the coolest in this movie. It was awesome. And then we ran into each other at an art gallery, and I got to talk with the director who did all 3 of these, and we just like, I don't know, like the third one's sentimental, and I have all those memories tied to it. It's probably the third one. All right. Vanco, interesting about water. I definitely don't think as much as I should. Yes, drink more water. That'll help. Stimmy love. All right, last few, and then we're done. I still haven't got my Stimmy, and it's weird because I got the last 2, so I don't know why I haven't gotten this one yet. Comic Quirks, I'm getting mine tomorrow. You can go to irs.gov and look at where's my refund or where's my Stimmy or whatever the fuck. That's how I found out I'm getting mine tomorrow. I'm getting direct deposit tomorrow. They're sending out more this week, so check or direct deposit. There's a bunch coming if that helps ease your mind. You can also look it up. I see My Hero is a good pick, though, especially if you're used to Western superhero comics, which I might be. Yeah, it's a good gateway drug. Like, that's a good gateway anime for me. Thanks, Coy. It means a lot. Get after it. Last one, Ryan Cross Project. Coy, I wanted to send you some money. Oh, that's just a nice thing to... Coy, I want to send you money, and I want you to get all of it. Do you have a StreamYard or something? I do. StreamYard is the best way for me to get all of it. Super Chats take like 30% or something. The StreamYard is in the... There's a link in the bio. There should be. If you click the little like show more, oh, it's not there. Oh, there it is. Just scroll down to support, and it's the first one on support. If you go to Streamlabs, is how you do that. It formatted really weird, so it's a lot further down than it should be, but it is down there, and I apologize for the weird formatting there. Thank you, Ryan Cross Project, and you've got a couple hotline calls that are coming in the next couple because you leave awesome voicemail. So I hope that does make all the sense, guys. This was a marathon show. It was an hour and a half. We just officially hit an hour and a half. Streamlabs. Sorry, yes, the Streamlabs link. I listened to you when you said StreamYard. We both were saying the same thing and saying both the same wrong thing. The Streamlabs link is in the thing. It's just scroll down a little bit further. It says support, and then there's a Streamlab link in the text of this very show. It should be right under all the follow and stuff. It should be in there if that helps. I think I was about to say something about hour and a half. Where was I leaving you? Lovely, lovely, lovely folks. Someone just asked about weights. What weights resistance are you using at home? Bands, dumbbells. I use dumbbells. I've got 35 pounds that I keep, like just 35 pound weights that I keep together. And then I've got adjustable dumbbells that go from 10 pounds to 25 pounds. So like I adjust for the shoulders and like those weights between 15 and 25. And then I also, like the 35s I do for chest or heavy biceps or those things. So I'm using between 10 through 25 or a solid 35. When I'm at the gym, there's a lot more versatility, and I'm hoping to get back to the gym, late summer when it's, more safe. And I'll be doing like, my shoulders, I'm doing like 12 to 20 pounds, when I'm doing like either verticals forward or vertical sides, horizontal or horizontal forward. Whereas like chest, those dumbbells can be up to like 80 pounds, which I just don't have room for in my place or the versatility for in my place. So it all depends on what I'm doing, but weights are the name of the game, and weights are how I stay sane, to be honest. And I have a thing called a Quiet Punch, which is a boxing speed bag and a regular bag combo, but it also comes with tons and tons of tutorials. It actually comes with full video tutorials, so you can actually learn how to box. It'll teach you how to jab, teach you how to hook, teach you how to uppercut, teach you how to like do combinations, and you lose weight while you're doing it. And if you want, use code Coy-J10 and you get 10% off everything you order. So quietpunch.com, Coy-J10, their sponsor. That link's also in the description of this. So if you want a fucking box, you can save 10%, literally 10% off every motherfucking thing, and lean you out, learn some boxing, prepare you for the world a little bit, all of those things if that's your cup of tea. I'm going to refresh this one last time because I've said I was going to do one last time about 4 times, but then everybody's loving in the chat, and we also got more people popping in at all times, which is always lovely. Okay, that is refreshed. That is golden. I think that may do it for today's glorious, mega, feature-length, insane episode, because you guys are absolutely amazing. I very much appreciate you. I'm gonna run through some of these names because you guys are just the best. Will the Thrill, Mukbang Reviews, Vanco, John Getz, Comic Quirks with Jimmy, Remy's Art, Scott Welsh, all with the impossible kindness of these StreamYards and Super Chats. I cannot possibly thank you enough. Thank you for basically helping me chip away at me getting back on the road. I would not have been able to get back on the road without all of you, and I especially would not have been able to get back on the road without this year of doing this show and the Patreon. Like the Patreon, actually, you know what? While it's a really long fucking show, I haven't plugged Patreon in a long time. Let's do a Patreon plug. If you're still here, I hope it's okay. I plugged my Patreon. A lot of people do it at the top of their show. That makes me feel weird. My Patreon is now hella tiers. You can do $1 to $3 of just like, here, we appreciate you. And that's just like, there's a thank you implied, and I send a little thank you. $5, the Discord. The Discord is a literal 90s comic book store of communication. It's a bunch of us nerds talking. I get in there twice a week, at least. I try to do more, where we just talk about movies, comic books, Falcon Winter Soldier. If you want to ask me a question, you can jump in that Discord, $5. I try to answer all of them. There's a lot, because there's a lot of great people in there, but it's a community, and a lot of people dive in. Producer Jake's in there. It's a really fun Discord, and it's like a 90s comic store. We talk about all the geeky stuff, and I'm in there twice a week. So that's $5 a month. $10 a month is the patron-only podcast, and I think this is a great setup. Basically, $10 a month gets you the Discord and the patron-only podcast, and it's me and Jake talking about all of the movies and TV shows we have seen that week. It is a giant review of like 5 or 7 or 10 movies or TV shows, all the stuff we're consuming. We really do dive into those. So we do these reviews, and I give my comic book recommendations with a little bit more depth, and I give my comic book pulls, and that drops every single Tuesday. So for $10 a month, you get all my comic recs early, you get all my comic reviews a little early, and you get all my movie and TV reviews, and just me and Jake being idiots. And that's every single Tuesday, and that's $10 a month with the Discord as well. $15 a month is me rating every single comic book, good or bad. $15 a month is me saying what comics I didn't like, what comics I did like. I rate them A+, A minus, B+, B minus, all the way down to F. If comics suck, I'm gonna be honest in that, because it's a personal me to you thread. So it's literally, I post all of them, and then you can comment, and it becomes a conversation. So it's a thread of my ratings of all of that comics that week. I'm reading between like 30 and 50 comics a week, and if you want to try to save money, and if you agree with my taste, you can see what I've rated each of those comic books. So it's a full breakdown of all of those things, and they're honest ratings. If I think something is garbage, I can save you some of the money by not buying it. It is the $15 tier, and that also comes with the Patron Pod and the Discord. For $25, Discord, Patron Pod, all my comic ratings, and all of my movie and TV ratings in honest opinion. So this week I watched Nobody early, and I post that it's an A, so you can decide whether or not, if you agree with my taste, you want to pay to see that in the theater. I also write when things are garbage. I tell things that are C's, D's, and F's. I give full honest ratings, because it's not a studio telling me what to say something is. It's behind a paywall, so I'm fully fucking honest whether or not I enjoyed something. In this case, I love Nobody, so I gave it an A. But it is $25 for Patron Pod, comic book recs, all movie and TV recs, and the Discord. And then from there, it is $35 as you sponsor a Displate, where I get one of these in your honor. I've got about 70 picked out that I want to decorate my place with. You pick one out of those 70. When I do an unboxing of it, I answer 3 questions you would like me to answer, just like the Super Chats and Streamlabs, while I'm unboxing this. So there's a full unboxing video in your honor, a shout out to you, as well as 3 questions for you. It's like a 10-minute video just for you, posted on YouTube. Or if you don't want it posted, I can just send it to you. But it's kind of like doing a cameo, but with art and questions, and it's just for you, and that's $35. And you get the comic recs, the movie recs, the Patron-only pod, and the Discord. And then up from there is $100, the Tater Tot tier. That's how people are getting me to watch Death Note, My Hero Academia, play The Last of Us, watch movies I've never seen, watch crazy shit, normal shit. Anything you want me to watch, I will do a full-on 20-30 minute like Collider review of whatever content you want. I do research while I'm watching it. I take notes while I'm watching it. It is a full in-depth ass review dedicated to you, and I post those to YouTube for everyone to enjoy. So that is the $100 tier, where John Getz and AJ Lancaster. John Getz sending me all sorts of anime goodness. AJ Lancaster sending me some of the weirdest movies in the game. Those guys run that tier. Also, Michael McCarcel is at the $50 tier, where he recommends me something that we would do a watch along for. Now, it's got to be something I know, because I'm talking through it and I'm trying to be worthwhile while I'm there. So we've done Batman Forever, we've done Deadpool, we've done Jurassic Park, things that I know and love. We watch together as a group, sponsored by you, so you and I try to communicate our schedules. And for $50, we do a full watch along on YouTube, full commentary, and you get movie ratings, comic ratings, Patron pod, Discord, all of the above. And then the final one is the producer tier, where you get a shout out in each and every episode of this show and most of the things I do. In this, you'll scroll down, you see Heather Long's name. This is brought to you by the great Heather Long, because it is. Heather Long is a producer of my content, because basically I could not survive without her. Heather Long is a saint. The $250 tier is producing all of my stuff, plus you get Discord, Patron pod, comic ratings, movie and TV ratings, all of that stuff, and a shout out in the text, and often aloud as well, because Heather Long is the best. So, basically my Patreon is how I got a car, how I'm covering a third of my rent, and how I've been able to survive since the world stopped right after I'd lost my job and moved twice. So that Patreon, I try not to plug too much, because I sometimes feel like it's tacky, and I feel like some people lean on their Patreon and they're just like buying jackets and backpacks. I've never used the Patreon money for anything superfluous. I've actually never bought like a fun thing with the Patreon money. It's rent, and it's surviving while the world is paused. So I get really triggered online when people are like, you don't have a job, you just beg people for money. I don't like begging. I don't even like asking. I don't even like mentioning my Patreon. But since we talked about it so much today, that is the rundown of what my Patreon is. I try to make sure people get a lot of bang for their buck, and it's really about communicating with you guys and sharing what you want me to share. So that is the long ass plug for my Patreon at the end of the feature length Coy Cubed. This has been an unexpectedly long episode. This has been unexpectedly fun. I expected SnyderCut and stuff to be glorious. I didn't think it would go on this hard and this long, but here we are. I'm gonna refresh one last time. There's still 40 plus of you hanging out to chat with me, which is just insane to me. That is gonna do it for this week's Coy Cubed. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for getting me back on the road. Thank you for helping me through this crazy year. And yeah, we'll see you next week for Invincible and more comic book goodness. And I just appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Stay safe, stay sweaty. Thank you for being here, and thank you, as always, to comic books for existing. You guys are fucking lovely. I'll see you soon. And then he can't leave. He was trying to be sweet and sentimental, but then technology said, fuck you. Fuck your sweetness. Oh no, I'm leaving. Okay, bye guys.